Hello, what's up, good people? How are you doing today? I hope you're good. Thank you so much for clicking and welcome to yet another video. Today, I would like us to talk about something on the healthy side. And lately, people have been having issues with their health, and doctors have turned to a point whereby they're believing that medicine cannot work well like food. So we are on a mission on how can we eat better so that we can reduce inflammation. So as you have seen in the topic, the question I'm trying to answer today is which are the top anti-inflammatory foods, like which diet can you put together so that you make sure that you reduce inflammation in your body. You could be here and you're wondering, what is this thing we are calling inflammation? You see, when you sprain your leg or your hand, or you're hit by something, or you're just sick, that feeling of a lot of pain, the swelling, you see those things, when you're feeling just a lot of pain, there is redness in your body in a way that you are feeling very uncomfortable because of the pain and the swelling and the redness. That is what we call inflammation. Did you know that you can reduce that by eating the right foods? Now, inflammation is not a good thing, and it can be it can exist in two ways. So inflammation can be acute or chronic. Now, acute inflammation is that inflammation that takes place almost instantly. The moment you're hit by something or you're sick and there is a lot of pain in your joints, there is redness on your body, on your skin, and you're feeling a lot of pain and also the swelling. That is acute inflammation, which you experience from the action or what you're feeling or the injury. So it can be because of the injury or just a disease which is in your body. So whatever you're feeling at that moment when you're sick, that is acute inflammation. Number two, inflammation can also be chronic. What do we mean by that? It can be pain, swelling, redness, which is staying over a long time. You see these people who say, now I'm used, I'm diabetic, or I have pressure, or I have cancer, and I have to get used to pain. That is what you are calling chronic inflammation. So it remains in the body for some time, but imagine the good news that I have today is if you eat the right foods, you can reduce the intensity of that feeling of inflammation, and you begin feeling better even without the painkillers or being wrapped in a bandage or whatever. So we can work on that. So what I was just wondering, what actually makes food inflammatory? That is one thing I was wondering. And it is just that food that will accelerate. Inflammation is usually accelerated by the foods you eat. For example, I will give you examples of foods which are inflammatory: refined carbohydrates, bread. Yeah, those things which are usually they are carbs and they are refined, or they are overcooked in a lot of oil and the rest. Those are refined carbohydrates, and they will increase the pain. So when you're sick and you're feeling pain, don't go for these refined carbohydrates. The other thing you should avoid is French fries. In my country, we call it chips. Guys, when you're sick and you've gone for that hospital visit, it is not that time for you to go eating chips and chicken from Pizza Inn and the rest, okay? It is time for you to narrow down and eat the correct foods. The like of dairy products and the rest, processed food, soda. I'll be back in a minute. Yeah, so the other day I was with my sister who is a medic, and then someone brought her some soda to take, and then she told me, just take the soda if you'd like. I was wondering why. Then she told me, you see what happens with soda, when you're taking it, you think like you're hydrating yourself. The truth is the soda dehydrates you. It's like taking water away from your body. Guys, I felt so stupid for the years I've been taking soda in place of water. So I know we are many of us. The other inflammatory food that you're going to take is processed meat, the like of sausages, smokies, what else, bacon and everything. Those processed things, you know them. This kind of meat you like taking when it has been refined, like a bite or whatever, that will increase. So if you're sick, avoid processed meat, avoid margarine, avoid lard, avoid those things. I'm actually shocked that I should avoid margarine. You like taking your bread, which is refined sugar with margarine. Now that is inflammatory. So what happens with inflammatory foods is they don't protect you against pain when in the event where you're injured or you're sick. So you'll find that you are sick and you experience a lot of pain, which you could have avoided if you are eating right. So anti-inflammatory foods usually protect us. Yes, they protect us against this pain, redness, swelling. When in the event when you have a disease or injury, it lowers the impact you could have faced. Now, the good thing with anti-inflammatory foods is that they are rich in antioxidants. So in them they have vitamins, they have minerals, they have every good thing which I'm going to list for you in a short while. So they usually have very high antioxidants. So they take away this the bacteria, they suppress every bacteria or anything bringing infection in your body and the pain, so you feel better because you've been eating right. So that's one reason to avoid chips, to avoid processed meats. Another reason to avoid margarine and refined carbohydrates. So without taking too long, like I've said, better late, not really. It is better you save yourself the pain by eating right, because even the doctors are saying if you prevent these things by eating the right food, they'll have an easier work, and your healing journey is usually easier, shorter, and better if you eat well. Okay, so basically, well, the reason why you could be wondering, forgive the way whatever is happening in my hair. You basically, inflammation is usually a mode of defense. When you're fighting a disease or when you had an injury, there'll be some swelling telling you your body, something is going through your body. So that's why you experience inflammation, and it is a form of defense when you're fighting a disease. So like I had said, it is usually that pain, the redness, the heat you feel around the affected area. And like I said, it could be acute or it could be chronic, it depends. So which are the foods which protect us from the impact of these diseases in our body? Actually, if you feed on anti-inflammatory foods, you will actually you will stop some diseases from attacking your body earlier. You will not be an easier target when you're eating well. And most of the things, the foods which contain fiber, I'll tell you, the foods which contain fiber, food which contain vitamins B, C, K, potassium, calcium, all those good things, those are the foods we are talking about. And where do we find it? So number one, we find these anti-inflammatory antioxidants. They are found number one in fruits. Guys, we cannot overemphasize on how you should take your fruits. Like every day, make sure you take a fruit. And one thing I like about fruits, they come in seasons. Like for example, mangoes, they'll come in seasons and we will eat and eat and eat. So when you eat so many mangoes, we'll have deposited the antioxidants and they'll just be there in your body and protect you against these diseases. So that's why, if you're wondering why you should eat too many fruits when they are in season, that is the reason. It's like you're saving for tomorrow. So those antioxidants will remain in your body for a long time. If you get pregnant, when your immunity is weak, there will be something which you have saved for your child and yourself. So you'll not be an easy target for diseases. Okay, so fruits usually contain a lot of these anti-inflammatory compounds which are called antioxidants, and they fight against the heart disease, diabetes, arthritis, cancer, bowel diseases. They fight against they'll just boost your immunity when your immunity is low because of diseases or pregnancy. Okay, or when you're going through stress or something like that. When you're stressed and everything, your immunity comes down. But if you've been eating well, you'll face this stress and depression better than someone who does not eat well. I hope you get me. So eat the fruits when they're in season, the likes of oranges, mangoes, grapes, apples, pears, etc., watermelons. Whenever you find the fruits, eat it in plenty. And even if you have an issue of affording the fruits, when they are in season, they're usually cheap. You will not buy them like you buy them in the supermarket when they are not in plenty. So buy and eat, feed your family, let everyone be equipped for whatever may come. Okay, I hope we understand when I say buy whatever. We don't know about future. Now, which are the other fruits? Like I said, fruits. The other food you should take is tomatoes. Now, there is always an argument if tomatoes are fruits or vegetables. Whatever they are, eat them. And eat them when they are cooked and when they are raw. Actually, when they are raw, they are usually in their best form. So eat tomatoes or tomatoes. It depends with where you are watching me from. Eat a lot of tomatoes, carrots, like that. Eat those fruits. Number 3, the other foods which are anti-inflammatory are green leafy vegetables. We cannot talk enough about how much kale you should, is it kale or kale, you should be taking. Spinach you are supposed to be taking. We should not be talking about how much cabbage, especially because of the fiber you should be taking. Anything which is green, broccoli, whatever you consider a leafy vegetables. I don't know how you call them in your place, but I like calling them managu. The leaves of pumpkins, plants, etc. Eat those things. They will, and do not feel bad when you're not eating meat and you're eating vegetables. You know the portions. We say the biggest are vegetables, then meat if it is there, and then a piece of carbohydrates. It should be the tiniest. Okay, so eat tomatoes, eat leafy vegetables, eat courgettes, whatever, cucumbers, whatever you have to do, eat them raw, eat them cooked, but don't overcook them. Okay, the next thing you should consider is, guys, use olive oil. Now, I will give you an example of my own case. Now, in the past, I never cared which type of vegetable oil I was using. So for a long time, I was just using vegetable oils. Then I realized there is something good in sunflower oil. There is something good in corn, whatever, the oil you get from corn and etc. And I realized when I'm not taking this, not under refined vegetable oil, which has not been very purified very well, I realized that I could snore more at night. I could gain a lot of weight. I did not feel lighter. But when I switched to sunflower oils, corn oils, and etc., actually I did not struggle with weight as I used to. You know, this issue of saying oil is oil. No, oil is not oil. Please, if you can afford, go for more refined oil, which are coming from the natural sources, not from the crude oil. And also, now we are advocating for olive oil. I know olive oil bites our budget, guys. I know, and I understand you. But if you can, if God has blessed you, use olive oil. And if it is something which if you are intentional about working on your health, start using olive oil, especially with small families. You can do that because you just need to use it sparingly. So can we switch, move from just oil is oil? If you cannot afford olive oil, switch to corn flour and sunflower oils. They are better than those refined oils. And the refined oils from crude oil. Okay, yeah. Then also focus on eating fatty fish. Again, fish is not just fish. Salmon and the rest, they are fatty fish and they are better in fighting. Yeah, so we are saying normalize using those oils. Okay, yeah. The other thing you should focus taking is nuts. Nuts also provide very natural oils, and there are very many good things in nuts, all forms of nuts, cashew nuts, peanuts, coconuts, whichever nut you're talking about. Actually prefer snacking with nuts as opposed to these junk foods you guys are eating. Okay, avoid them. Pepper, those people who don't like pepper, countries like my friends in Nigeria, they really eat a lot of pepper, and the people from China. So please, if you can tolerate pepper, eat a lot of it. Put it in your food. Black pepper, red pepper, etc. Whichever, even the yellow, the bell peppers, please use them. They are really, really good. They are really good at fighting. And you see what we are saying with these veggies and everything. Please do not overcook them. Ensure that they are just in the right. They should be crunchy. That's what I'm saying. You know, there are those people who have to cook cabbage until it is overcooked. It is useless. Please try to cook vegetables just enough cooking. That's what I can say. Turmeric, we like taking turmeric as to add flavor and also color mostly. So keep doing that. And if you can Include turmeric in your smoothies and your juices when you're making them. Please do. It is a very good anti-inflammatory. Even when we're washing our face, we like going for turmeric. It's a natural antioxidant. It is everything good that we can think about. So normalize using that. Also mushrooms, they are not very common, but yeah, mushroom soup. Make it, okay? And also there is one which was really exciting for me actually. The fact that I can eat chocolate and I get the antioxidation which I want is a great plus. Now, chocolate is not just chocolate. It has to be the dark chocolate, especially the one we use for baking and everything. So if you can use dark chocolate, if you can have it, please do. And also hot chocolate, use cocoa instead of the other things. Cocoa is also a good one. So when you look at dark chocolate and cocoa, they are in their natural setting, if that is what I can say. So it's something you can play around with. So those are some of the foods. These are some of the foods which I wanted us to talk about. How can you achieve this? Settling on anti-inflammatory diet is the best thing, especially in our times when a lot of things are changing and foods are becoming more refined and everything. So if you want to fight against cancer invading your body, diabetes, heart disease, blood pressure and the rest, you can get an eating plan. They are online. You might need to Google and compile for yourself a good diet plan, or you can consult a dietitian or a nutritionist. They will put together a diet which is full of this anti-inflammatory food. So I had a friend who had a problem with diabetes, and then they were struggling with it, and they didn't like diabetes and blood pressure, hypertension, and then they were wondering, what can I do to achieve? I don't want to keep on taking these drugs. So they decided, let me go and see a nutritionist, and they put together a good anti-inflammatory diet for that person, and they're improving. Actually, they have gotten to a point where they are no longer taking the drugs unless there is a problem somewhere. So managing your stress, depression and everything, it will not have a lot of impact on you if you eat well. So if there is something which you can do for yourself, is eating well and settling for an anti-inflammatory foods. And from the list I've given you guys, you can clearly see that you'll avoid weight gain and the rest if you are eating well. And vegetables, fruits, avoid processed meats, avoid soda, junk food. Those are things we've been talking about. So it is a diet which you can easily settle for. Finally, inflammation is usually accelerated by unhealthy habits, not just eating habits, but generally habits like smoking, excessive consumption of alcohol, just poor diet generally where it's not balanced, and then stress and weight gain and depression. You see, when you gain a lot of weight, like for example, for me, if I go past 60 kilograms, when I'm 62, 63, if I get to 65 or 67, my feet complains. And what happens is when I'm walking around the ankle area, I usually swell and feel a lot of pain. That is usually a wake-up call. It is a natural wake-up call for me, like I should do more skipping ropes, I should do exercise, sit-ups, and just cut the weight. Because for me, the way my body is structured, I am not a very big person. But when I just become reckless for a bit, I eat junk, I become careless, usually my body tells me, and it tells me in a way that I cannot tolerate it. So for me, my body, the inflammation, the pain, the swelling on my ankles usually tells me I need to do something, especially exercising and checking my diet. So me, I have a natural checker. You might not have it. The only thing that can tell you you're eating badly is maybe a disease. Don't wait for that time. Please put together a good anti-inflammatory diet which will help you. So that's it for today, guys. I don't